G'day, how you going? Ianapolis here, your acrylic guru from Australia. Welcome to me video. Before we get started, we'll get some sizes up there on the canvas for you in centimetres and inches, and we'll also get some colours going up the screen there like that. That way you can write them down and use the same colours I've got. And if you don't have the same colours, that's okay, just use something similar. This is a tutorial. The more you go through your painting journey, the better you'll understand colours and know what colours you want to work with in your paintings. Now this is going to be like a seascape, tropical island type of thing, but on a different angle, and it's going to have some aspects you can learn and put into future landscape paintings for you beginners, all right? So have your coffee going and get yourself in a beautiful, happy mood. Before I bring you over here, I've got some retarder on the palette there, and I'm going to put some of this craft paint. It's just craft paint, white craft paint, just so we can get the sky in. And later on in this video, I'm going to have my good mate Joe telling me when it's time to whack a frame on this beauty, all right? Okay, come on over here and let's get going. So I've got my craft paint. Now I like to use this. This is just a cheap 2-inch synthetic brush from the hardware. Plastic handle, plastic bristles, but it's a great putter on a brush when I want to get things put on. So I'm mixing up the retarder with inside this craft paint. And some people ask, how much do you use? You saw the volume there. On the bottle it does say around 10%, but depending on your climate, if your climate's wetter or drier, you have to add more or less accordingly. Now I want to get the sky area prepped so as we get some nice clouds and blue sky colours going here, okay, within this. So that retarder is going to keep this craft paint wet longer. And why I'm using the craft paint, it's thinner than the titanium white out of the tube, and it colours the canvas. It's priming it up, it's prepping it for me. I've got some crap in there. Oh, well, all of a sudden there's a lot of dirt in this one. I've got to remember to wipe my canvases before I start painting them. Alright, so we've got that brushed in there like that. Now I've got some Indian yellow. I haven't washed my brush. I've got some Indian yellow and I want to mix in the slightest of red. So I'm using Parole red. I want to get this kind of orange aspect going here with this colour. And when you put a bit of white, I'll just show you, oh, it really sparks it. Now I'm looking for this certain tone of orange that I want. I'll get on both sides of the brush. A little bit more red. Careful with your reds as you're tinting up with them, because they can be very strong, and if you overdo it, you've got to redo it again. And I want certain bits of this coming through the sky over here. See, I'm painting this in lineal with the horizon. That tape, I've got tape there for the horizon, okay, and all mainly here. Leaving some whites in between it, so see what I've done there, and we'll probably scoot up a bit there as well. Now that's very yellow, yellowy orange. Okay, now grab yourself a blending brush, and I want to blend that in those, I don't want to just blend around and around, I want these kind of following that there, so I'm going to pull them through, and there is a lot of white down the bottom of this sky. Now that white craft paint I put on there with the retarder, I'm going to wipe the brush, that's allowed this to stay wet and blendable. Now I don't want to blend all this to the same tone. I want some, see I've got a darker bit there, I want to keep stuff like that in there. So I'm just kind of putting some more of them in there that I want to keep, just like that. Okay, wipe your blending brush and blend them in a way that they don't look like they've been dabbed in there. Try and make it look natural. There we go, that's looking natural. Beautiful. That's that orange flavour that I was looking for. Now I've got some cerulean blue, so I want to get some of that red, and let's see if we can make the slightest purple. Just so as when we get the blue, we've got this purple in between put some white in it to see what colour it's looking. That's why I've got that dollop of white there, just to turn the lights on. Is that pretty much what I want, I suppose? I'll get a bit more white in there. Come on, come on. There's a boy. Alright, so that's pretty much the colour purple I want. This is just a little bit, and probably just where this is going to meet the blue, just done that. Okay, that's all. Grab another blending brush now, because that first blending brush has yellow in it, and I don't want it to contaminate where I'm going to have the blue. So I want to bring that purpley colour, just, where are we? Come on, into that yellow. I've got to act quick. Today's a very warm day, and this is drying quicker than normal. There we go. I want to quickly get the blue in there. I'll just push that up there out the way. Get those strokes out of it. Beautiful. Alright, now we need the cerulean blue. So we'll grab this cerulean. Now I want this colour for the sky. And we'll get this sky in. So over here is going to be a bit pale, so I'm leaving it. Mainly here's the darker area, so I'm getting it all on. Get it to that purpley colour there. Blend it out that way. You push it to where you want the lighter areas. Over here is darker. Get it right in there. Now I'm going to just pick up some of the craft paint that had the tartar in it. I'm just going to bring it over this side here, just to get that lighter value over there. And maybe the slightest whitest value all the way in here. It's got a slight blue in there. We're going to get clouds in here. Now I've got to blend that. So I want to quickly blend this, soften it down. Beautiful. Over there. Because we're going to have clouds over this, so a lot of this is going to be covered up, but this is just a great detailed sky background. So I'm pretty much blending it the way I stroked it on there, okay? See, now that purple is going to act as the underneath of a band of clouds there. That's why I've got it that way. Okay, now this purple we mixed up, I'm grabbing some grey, and I want to put grey with that. Let's see if we can get a bit of blue in it. So I wanted a grey blue, so I'll use that. And we just want to get our clouds. So first I want to put some just fluffing around over here. So I'm using the corner of the brush just to get them roughly where I want. That'll do. Put it down. Grab a blending brush. These are just those ones flapping around in the sky there. No top or bottom on them really, they're just there. Wipe your blending brush. And the same on here. So the light's behind these now, so these are darker. The sun's gone down. They're just in that lighter area of the sky. Now we'll get some over here. I want a little bit more darker than this as well. So I'm just going to grab some dioxazine purple and mix the slightest bit into there. Oh, Steve's outside. He always comes for his breakfast. Look at him. Steve! Now we'll get some clouds. First I just want to join over here, get that colour join with some clouds about there. Just like that. Blend it in. See, these are a bit darker. That's what the dioxazine purple did. Wait a minute, I'll move my hand out the way in a minute. I'm just on a bit of an angle here. I've got to lean over the camera. It's a bit awkward, but I'll manage. Turmoil that. Get the turmoil in there, see? And we want some nice I'm doing a few at a time, okay? Just like that. Wipe the brush, get all that turmoiling in there with that blue, wipe the brush. Tickle the tops a bit. Now I need that a bit darker now. I want to come a bit darker. So let's put something, just that one's there. So this is a bit darker now. So I'm going to put something pretty much in front of that. Just like that. And I want to create turmoil within the, let's hope my retarded surface hasn't dried up too much. It's not too bad. Tickle that area out, get rid of those. There we go. Just want something up here. Tell you what, I've got to try and act quick now because it's a very warm day today. I don't know if you can, it's very slight. I've got the aircon on and yeah, this is that surface that I'm blending these clouds on. Normally, I want this a bums on these clouds. Normally would be still wet, but she's quite drying up. Now I'm getting some lighter value. Just put white within that colour, just so I can get some kind of underneath highlighting. Blend that into that cloud body. Make your cloud bodies the way you want. I'm just going to add some yumminess now. So I've picked up some titanium white out of the tube and I want to get these clouds done like that. Let's blend that in there. This will create, yeah, that's creating the thickness and the volume we need within the cloud. See what that's done? I'll do another one over here within this. The way I'm stamping this on is pretty much the way I'm going to blend it. Wipe that blending brush on and off, twisting the turmoil of it. See, it just pulls it around and makes all the inner busyness of that cloud. Okay. Just something about here to fix this one up because it's a bit solid. It's hopefully still a little bit wet there, yes. See what that does? Creates the real bullshit look in this sky. There we go, it's got some light hitting it. I'm just looking in, oh, I've got paint on my hand. Good thing I've got my gloves on. I'm just looking at my clouds and I want to see, get some more billowy effects here. It depends on you how much you want to keep going with detailing your clouds, okay? Just like a dob there. See what it does? Now back down here, I've got my grey out of the tube, just a mid-tone grey. And on the top of the tape, where is the top of the tape? Pretty much here. So from about here, okay, all the way to the end, I want to use grey now because these are lower down in the atmosphere. And I want to just leave the orange there and get some row of clouds just along, where's the tape? There it is. Leaving some hollow bits there so it's got something to blend. Just like that. Can come off that area. Now I want to blend that, so we'll grab an appropriate blending brush. Try and get that turmoil within all those. I've left some white in there to create a lighter value of grey within that body of cloud. Yeah, beautiful. These aren't that much detailed, they're just down on the horizon there. I've got to really blend it in where that tape is. Well, I've got the tape there, I don't want retarded paint underneath the area where I'm going to add the water. Otherwise, like I've said in other videos, it can act like wet lava underneath there and give you some dramas. I've just had some of that darker value from up there in the brush, and I'm just adding that. When I take the tape off, you'll see. Beautiful, easy scenery for a beginner to do. Now, don't look at it and think it's looking a bit complex for me, Ian. I don't think I can do that. You can do it. Just practice doing clouds. Now we'll get some grey again, and we just want some slight little ones up in the sky here, just like that. Boom. These long ones will give depth to your painting. Now I want to keep the is that drying up on me up there? I want to keep the bottom flat if I can. Yeah, she's drying on me, brother. Anyway, I won't put any more there. I wouldn't have minded having more there. I'll get a bit of white within that just to bullshit it up a bit. There we go. A lot of cloud detail in this painting. Do your clouds the way you want or the way you're comfortable with. There we go. How's that looking? That's not too bad. And we'll get a few more just maybe in here. That'll do. Nothing too much extravagant. That's pretty much our sky. I will take the tape off just so you'll see when we get the water there. That's where the water's going to lay. Steve just come in to say hello. It's a bit hot out there, isn't it, mate? I've got to go in and feed him when I finish filming this video. That's okay, mate. Do these gloves feel funny, hey? You want to get down? All right, I'm going to dry that and then we'll start lacing in the water. Okay, we're going to do the bottom area. I've taped it up and I've got the craft paint again with retarder in it, just a little bit, not as much as I had for the sky. And I want to get all this just primed up because we're going to do some merging of colours here. Okay, and about here is where the shoreline's going to be. So now I've got some Payne's Grey. I just want to get this, I haven't cleaned that brush, I want to get this on the brush in a pointed way. And like I said, our water's going to finish about here. So I want this all, we'll keep it straight, Ian. Just get it straight, get it in there for now, map it in for now, just where you want that shoreline to be. Just like this, and I can light and darken it as I go. So I'm picking up more Payne's Grey on the brush, light and darkening it as I go. A bit more darker there by the looks. Yeah, keep them straight. This looks like overcast, end of the day, shadow coloured water to me, so that's why I've got the Payne's Grey all the way along there. Now, that orangey colour, I'm just adding a bit more of the Indian yellow, maybe a little bit more red, just to get some more of that value there. We just need a hint of this in our reflection on the water. So pretty much here, we want to replicate that right down in the water there like that. Just go down there like that. You might think, what the hell, I don't like doing that, but wipe your brush again. I've wiped it vigorously on my paper towel, and we just want to pull that now just to get that, there we go, and that's all you got to do. And it's put that reflection of that above the sky into our water. Now I've picked up some more Payne's Grey, and I'm just now starting to detail roughly where I want some darker areas, probably about here. Get on there, paint. Probably about there, and maybe just some willowing about there. And I want to just I don't want to kill too much of that orange that I just put on there. Maybe I should have done this before, but this'll work all right. Where's the bottom of that tape? There it is. Because what I want to do now is get some white and just highlight right above or just under the horizon line. Just picking up more of that orange just to see if I can scoot it back there where I buggered it. I don't want to flavour it too much. There we go. That'll do. So I want to get some titanium white and just highlight the horizon line. So I want to leave this dark. I want to get, so it'll be this highlighted bit and then leaving some of that dark there. So I'll start on the tape and just get this all the way like that. Just come all the way along. Okay, and we can just, from this edge here, just go like that. I want to soften that edge a bit. There we go. And maybe get some just like that there. That'll do. Wipe that brush. And that's the water finish. I'm just going to lay that down into the water, so I'll pull it like that. That's why I put retarder in it, so this is going to happen. So I'm going to grab some yellow ochre and just mix in with this white, just to get my white sand colour going. It's maybe a bit too pale, add a little bit more. I just use this colour. There's so many different ways you can mix up your beach sand colour, but I just opt for this. It's easy to remember. And we want to join the, we'll get all this, get it in there, map it in, down there, pick up some more. Where's that tape? There it is. And come out. Excuse me. I want to get a bit of darker, so I'm grabbing some darker bits on there. Just here you can see the difference in the two values. And just probably about here, I'll use the point of the brush, just from about here. This is the darker shadowy area where the sand was wet and withdrawn with water. Okay, so just put that on like that. Wipe your brush. And pull it back that way. Wipe your brush again, pull it back that way. That'll do. Now I'm picking up that orangey colour, just contaminating the brush with it a bit. And where we've got this white and the sunshine, I'm going to soften that now. I'll try and do it without putting those bits in there. I'll be with you in a minute, Steve. So we're softening that down. What I'll do is I'll use a blending brush, a dry blending brush, because that brush has got paint in it. So we'll just go here. That's better. I should have just done that in the first place. See, now you know by watching the video not to do that. Cool. Take the tape off. Now getting some white, make sure your brush is wet. I'll pull some out there. And I'm just using a, don't want it too wet though. I'm just using a thick liner brush to get some on. And we'll just get some water lapping onto the side of the ground there. So, I'm gonna have some water there, some land there. So I'm gonna do it pretty much like this, just like that, and hopefully I want to pull that just back into the water side, okay, leaving the hard edge on the shore side, just like that. Get some more, do a bit at a time and push it back so it won't dry on you and you get a hard line, so to speak. I'm just trying to work out where to go with it. Yeah, that'll do. I'll put one about here. I'm just pulling it out to the water. And I want to get rid of this stupid line there. Okay, I've mixed up more of this sand colour, and we want to bring the island now within, leave some of the water out there, coming up, and then we're going to come up pretty much here. I'm just using a flat brush for this. Get it reasonably mapped in. And now this is going to come across pretty much here, all the way like that. And we'll get some darker values in there to make up the shoreline and rocks and bits and pieces. Okay, so let me just map that in there. Now we've still got the Payne's grey there we're going to use. So I want to map in where this is going to go now. So it's pretty much on the edge of that peak. And dipping into the water there. Keeping everything straight if you can, Mr. Ian. Now I've got to dry this because it's still wet. I've dried it a little bit. And I want some of this now, just tracing into the water and coming back there like that. And this is sort of rocks with bits of seaweed. Now I'm keeping the brush strokes level with the horizon. I don't want to bend them down because this is going to help me create high and low ground, but with high and low spots on it, but looking level and not sort of crooked. So I'm just dabbing this on, and you can see why I dried the paint, because it's still trying to lift up that paint there. Get some bits down here, facing up there. I'm just going willy-nilly here. Now this is a picture I found on Pixabay, free website. There's a solid rock here, so I'm going to put that in for a nice element of for the art's sake. I can see what it doesn't do when it's not wet enough, so I've just wet that brush a bit more. Now it's working beautifully. And we've got just scattery bits of stuff here on the beach, but keeping all these long. Now you can try and get some of this that I've done on there darker than others. Dry it if you have to. I'm going to dry that again now so I can detail that. Okay, before I do, I want to get this faded in the water a bit better than what it is. There we go. All the darks and lights are what really help a painting, eh? I've just got some white on a very small flat brush because I want to get water where it's here resting against this, just to about there. just to sit it down where it's meeting the edge of the water. And if you want, you could probably put some wet bits within it. Hang on, let's get some on the brush. Let's just see what this is going to look like. And I'm going to mix up a lighter value of this also to put some highlights on these rocks. So there's just bits of water tracing around the foot of these rocks here, just to kind of sit them down. Now I'm getting some of the Payne's grey, where are we? And I'll pull that over into this white that I grabbed. And I've got lighter value of that. Now we want to keep them reasonably dark, but just highlight little bits where we think the sun or the light's touching them. And if anything, we keep the lower edge near the ground dark. Let me have a look in the monitor there. My monitor's got a hell of a delay on it. That's doing all right. When I'm coming closer here, I'm going to sort of give it some twirls like they're bigger stones within the stuff. We want to create the top of that as well. I've just rounded the edge of that rock out. It looked a bit dumb with some more of the Payne's grey, just so as I can get a decent edge on it, looking perspectively within the painting. I think that'll do. Let me look in the monitor. Yeah, not the best, but it'll do. Oh, where's the dark? Get on there. Just so it doesn't look like it's sitting the way it does, I'm grabbing some of this just to shadow under that a bit. Just give it the slightest shadow. I'll grab some more. Wet the brush a damn bit. It's so dry today. What a day I'm having with this weather. So I just want to pull some kind of shadow from under there. There we go. Finish off with the white. Hitting this just on certain edges. It's just some sort of, could probably get a little bit in there. Of some light hitting the tops of some of this. This is just white. There we go. I want to crisp that up because it's reasonably close. Just like there's some water glycerin under there, I don't know. Now we're going to finish it off with just some greenery up here. So I've got my forest green. I'm going to pull a lot of that down here and mix up a darker value. So I've got some black, because I don't want to use just black. I want the green in there. Okay, and I'm going to pretty much swear from about here. I want the solidness all about here. Okay, I'm using this brush because I like it. And I want to bring the edge of this now the way I want it, coming down onto that dune there. Let's turn the brush around, get a different angle there, because I want it coming onto this dune in a roundabout way. There we go. And then we're going to, hang on, let me just chisel the edge of this brush so it's not so lobby. I could use a flat brush, but anyway. Now I want to map that in, just block it in, block it in. Now I've swapped brush, same paint, swap brush, and I want to get some silhouettes of, say, some palm trees just coming out here. Maybe that'll do it. You could put more there if you want, but I don't want too much more. And I just want some other, I won't use that brush. Where's my scrumbling brush? I just want some like shrubbery shapes there as well. So I'm just grabbing my scrumbling brush. I love this one. Get out there. And we're going to put some shrubberies like trees there, going down in the distance there because that's further away. And maybe some stuff that's a bit closer up here, like so, just like that. I've left some air in there, hopefully. Oh, I just covered it up, you dag. Oh, these ones here, I'll give them their fronds, so as they're not going to look naked. So I've got a smaller flat, and we'll frong those up. So how do we go? Pretty much. That'll do, that's one. And give this one. So I like to go up, pull it down like that. Nice simple frong. Don't have your paint too blobby. Get some down. And sometimes you need to busy up the centre a bit, just so it's not so thinly in there. And I've got another wider, I'll use the same one, just for this bigger tree. So we could probably start from here, bang like that. It's just more work with this size brush. Probably put one down there, like that. These are the easiest way any beginner can do a palm. You're just virtually using a flat brush, you scoot along and then pull it down for the prongs, just one-sided prongs. And you don't have to be too particular. Some of them are skinny, some of them are fat, some of them are blowing in the wind. And some of them are just seeing the backside of each other. And then, like I said, busy the inside of that up a bit. There we go, simple palm. All right, I've got my little scenery detail brush, the one I use for scrumbling. I've got yellow green out of the tube, and I've also got the leftover of my forest green, and I've added some cadmium yellow light with that, so I've got 3 flavors of green going here. And I want to put like a band of, where are we, here, from here, something coming up. I want it nice and airy. Coming down to that point there. That's exactly what I want. And I want to create this hedge type bush right on the edge here. Try and get rid of any patterns that you've stamped in there. And try not to get big bright blobs in there if you can help it. Okay, that's one flavour of green. Now I'm going to grab the other one, which is the forest green on its own, and we're going to put maybe bits of this in there. Is it going to be seen? I don't think you will. I'm just going to try and highlight some of these darker ones with it, but I don't think it's going to be seen too well. No. Alright, so I'm going to wash the brush now. Forest green mixed with the cadmium yellow light. And we want this to highlight some of these over there, so leaving the darks within them. I'm going to have the palms deep within it. I'm not going to try and put them in front or behind. And I'm leaving dark in between the two shrubs. I'm also getting the cad yellow light. I'm mixing it with that yellow green because for the highlighted areas. And I want to come here. I want to get some of this different value of green. There we go. Coming down there, keeping it on the top of that shadow. I'll fix that up. I'll fix that up, don't worry about that. Now I'm getting some more of the yellow within that yellow green. And have a look at your painting and work out, okay, there's some light hitting here, there. Okay, just bits of light hitting that. Now I'm coming closer, I'm grabbing a little bit more yellow into that because I want to, highlight some of this main shrubbery now. This here is not looking quite right, so we're going to fix that up. I'm just grabbing the darker colour and I'm going to pretend that's laying down there like that. There we go. Boom-bitty boom boom. I've got to wash that brush. Grabbing the yellow green and the yellow mixed together, and on the top of that, leave the dark underneath. There we go. I've fixed that weird looking thing up that was there. Now just to finish things off and set things down, I've got some black here, very dry, and where you've got this, you want dark minimal shadows under there. Let's darken this a little bit, not a big thick line, but shadow it in just so as it makes sense. Because I've done black lines where you scrumble them into the actual piece. Sometimes you're missing blacks there, just scrumble them in. I want to get this a bit out like that. There we go. I could probably put just so this doesn't look floating, get some dark scrumbling along in there as well. Just like that, just so it's not looking like it's floating. Okay, just finishing off this colour here. I've grabbed some of that with the black. I'm just making some kind of grey. I'm using a flat brush just so I can scrape it around the trunks of the palm trees just to give them a little bit of light. So I'm not going to go and highlight the fronds because the sun's down here and it's all in black now. I want to just lightly, where I can, give, oh it's too much, give these trunks, now it's not enough, give these trunks a bit of perspective, light and shadow within them. Okay. Right up there. Just the slightest, just enough to see it. Mucking around with it. So I'm using that darker colour I had before to map it in and just putting back. Where was that bit mainly there? Okay, that grey that I mixed up, I've just added a bit more of this sand colour to it. So we've got shadows. It needs a lot of like footprint shadows and marks in the sand. It's not fully raked out there, so we want some kind of shadow. So I'm just divoting some of this in there, making some shadows. Just added a bit more black and adding some more shadows within that lighter area, because I don't want these lights just all on their own. They need that dark to sit them down, so that's what I'm doing here. Just mucking around. Just remember, you practice what you have trouble with, you can do this, okay? I've seen people on my art group and from the YouTube here what they can do, and it's great, you can do it. There we go. Okay, we'll whack a frame on it and then we'll cross over to Joe from Australia. Actually, he's from New Zealand and he can tell us what he's up to. And then we'll put a frame on it. So we'll just sign this. And make sure you check out the links in the description below. Support my content by purchasing my art or donate to the PayPal donate link there. Join my art group, share your paintings there, talk with me and everybody else. Okay, and we won't forget Steve's little paw print.
G.I. Joe here. It's a nice quiet afternoon here on a Friday. It's still a little bit hot here, but I reckon it's time for Ian to whack a frame on it. Thank you very much and good night. See you later.
This should look all right in a frame. Oh yeah, that's not too shabby, hey. We've got sort of a sun-setting evening, stormy, trying to approach beach tropical scene here. We've got some shadows and rocks and perspective, all right? Good stuff, you can do that. Yeah, okay, thank you for that, Joe. That was Joe from New Zealand there, a friend of mine. And just remember, you can paint that, okay? And be sure when you do, put it on my art group page, become a member and share your work on there, all right? And if you like what I'm doing, tell your friends and family. But if you don't, you tell everybody, all right? All the best, goodbye, good luck, and good on ya.